The Vi and the Jax, what do you do?
Those are the picks that we brought up, at least taken up away from TN as well. But I do feel like Cube can still bring it out. Let's see. I mean, his Jace has seen some moments. His Gangplank, I mentioned it. I know Gangplank's not exactly meta right now, but he's damn good at it.
Yeah, he is. And I think that's still something you got to angle towards. It just means you have to you are going to have to dig deeper into that champion pool at some point either. If we on the desk can sit here and say, look, Cube probably shouldn't give him Jax, probably shouldn't give him stuff like the Gwen either. Of course, these other teams know that as well. In terms of the first pick priority has been taken away, that's kind of the way that I like to frame these drafts right now. We've already talked about the Elise and the Ryze being picked up by many teams worldwide. Ashe, Yuumi, Nami, of course something like the Maokai as well still on the table. I wonder if we're going to get ourselves a bit more of an explosive bot lane from JackeyLove and Mark to try and contest some of that stability from Asum and Southwind. And on the other side, I'm wondering if that leaves something like a Maokai to go through to Lian, who can then counter. But of course, that's been hovered and is being locked in by Top Esports. So now you're going to have to deal with this Maokai without something like a Sejuani to match initiation for initiation, or the Vi to start brawling against him early. So I'm wondering now what Lian goes towards in that jungle pick to, again, stop TN getting into the game quite as handily as he has done against previous opponents.
And already we get somewhat of an answer to the question I brought up of how are RA approaching this game, right? They've played Varus 4 times and Zeri once so far, but right off of the bat, they're locking in Lucian Nami. They want to bring some pressure to this bottom lane. JackeyLove currently hovering the Draven,
which is actually an okay Lucian Nami answer.
Into a Lucian before. I wouldn't be too surprised.
We've seen that with something like the Draven, and you can pick Draven Lulu or something else that can just contest the bot lane. And already for me, this is making me very worried for Rare Atom.
I mean,
we're in the 2% zone. Maybe they can step up, but
yeah, the 2% zone is here, but it's JackeyLove Draven. What a treat we are going to have in front of us right here. This is like the filet mignon of the champion select. I don't even know if filet mignon's that posh. I can't eat beef. I'm allergic to beef. I don't know why I picked steak to try and exemplify this.
Well, the stakes are so high, you've got allergies to them as well. Because Rare Atom, they are buying into the chaos a little bit. We know that JackeyLove has this incredibly historic pick of this Draven. It's the Nautilus. It's level 1. It's level 2 fighting, which for me is against what Rare Atom really want to play towards. They want to make sure they're chilling a little bit so they can fight later into the game. They can stall out. They can get to this point where they can find these great initiations. And it feels like Strive is buying into that a little bit too, with the Sylas being a much more early fighting pick. I think because of that, they're banning out some more priority picks, and that is it. I wouldn't be surprised seeing something like Rookie Zakali taken off the table as well, because we haven't mentioned him in this draft yet. We can't exactly give Rookie his choice picks. We know what he does with them.
Yeah, so the problem is, you're correct, you can't give Rookie a pick that he's comfortable on. The only issue you're going to find is that he's comfortable on pretty much every champion in the game. So yes, the Azir, he is exceptional on. The Orianna is another one, like kind of a similar boat house to Azir that he's exceptional on. But the Syndra, another one. And you can literally just name every champion and he's still really comfortable.
Yeah, if they're in the 2% zone, Rookie is the 98%, which is the rest of the champions on the roster. And even at this point, right, you've got this Sylas locked in. Yes, I know there's a chance of flexing it between jungle and mid. It's not really been the case worldwide so far, though, which means that you're getting a lot of your other choice picks removed away. We all talked about Cube's Jax. His Gwen's now been removed. We talk about Lian's Vi. His Wukong's also been removed, which is another great initiator, another great ability to fight early. I feel like your two most important members in previous series have been deprived of a lot of their tools. I think this is now putting the onus on Strive, Asum, and Southwind to be much more important in these compositions.
Renekton going to be locked in here for Cube, so a reasonably strong blind, right? We see it all the time here in the LPL, but K'Sante, he's made it through the bans for the first time today. And I mean, is there a matchup that you don't want to pick K'Sante in? I'm not sure if there is. It just feels insanely strong currently, and we've seen him doing a number on many Renektons so far, but now Rookie has to lock in. He's up against this Sylas. Current hover being the Akali, but there's plenty of options available.
We called this one in particular just because if you're looking to fight early, feels like Akali can both win trades against the Sylas early and then just out-skirmish him as well. Yes, you give that Akali all over, but just don't believe that every player playing the Sylas is going to be Zeka that wins this matchup. You're facing Rookie's Akali. You face the Apprentice. in that last series you played. You played against Dream and you sent him 0-9. Now you are up against the master himself, Rookie, on the Akali. One of the greatest of the Akali players ever since that rework in Season 8. Rookie took that to heights no one had seen before. He is up against Strive on the Silas. It is an interactive matchup. The matchup itself on paper is one which can go either way, but you've got to be afraid for Rare Atom coming out of this draft.
Well, you say that. I do think, though, on the side of Rare Atom, they've got some nice combos, right? The Lucian army obviously can be very, very strong on the bottom side. Granted, they're against the Draven. We'll see how that's going to go. But also, Renekton Nidalee, they're going old school. Leyen is, I literally mentioned it earlier, he's a Nidalee aficionado. This guy is an absolute demon on the Nidalee, and Cube is right there to set him up. You've also got the CC from Strive in the mid lane if he can land his knockup to guarantee that spear. I can see a world where Leyen takes control of this game.
But it has to be a real, like, knuckles white kind of hold on this game. You've got to be holding on for your dear life, because if it gets to the point where Tien has a really good ult angle, where Rookie gets onto the backline, there are 4 incredibly squishy champions on Rare Atom which are going to be eviscerated by Draven ults, by the Akali, by the Maokai ult. No one wants to tag that Maokai ult. Maybe Renekton can block one of those routes and have everyone huddle behind him, but that's my real worry here for Rare Atom. Even around something like as early as the Herald fights, as much as you have Renekton, Nidalee, and Silas who are very good around that point, at any point, if you give the option for top esports to approach these team fights and have one of these key carries in the right position to do damage, Rare Atom don't have much to say about that. It is play through lane, it is play through snowball. You can't let top esports get that early game advantage which they are so famous for.
Yeah, worth mentioning the fairly scary combo as well of the Nautilus Maokai, where you've got Nautilus depth charge that everyone wants to separate. You do not want to be grouped when that's flying towards you.
The clump of the separation.
Roots,
what do you do?
Which makes you all want to group up together. So if they're both coming at the same time, that's a lot of CC. That's a lot to panic about.
That's the instructions on a clear 5-man ult landed. That's what it leads into.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see as the crowd all out in force. We've seen a lot of signs for the top esports players. Not so many on the side of RA. In fact, I think that RA signs that sign saying that they're going to 2-0 RA. We'll see if that's going to be the case though, because RA have been surprising everyone so far, and Leyen has that signature pick in his Nidalee. We'll see if he can take over the game. But Draven coming out as another signature pick, this one for Jackulov. And Marcon, kind of a signature pick in that literally every support only played Nautilus that year. So arguably, I guess.
Well, he was one of the biggest supporters during that year, so you can definitely call it out as, even though it was a flavor of the season, flavor of the player as well. What that means is that you have a lot of comfort on the side of top esports' bot lane. Rare Atom, we've talked about them being stable through the TV2. They're going to have to deal with quelling this animosity which might come towards them. This volatility. You can see the Observer, they're hanging around here. The level 1, it looks for the hook.
The hook lands. Asum getting chunked out Southwind as well, taking some damage to the Ignite onto Asum.
They haven't damaged the Draven.
He's stomping right now. He's just annihilating them. And I mean, your Lucian army with no HP, at least they'll have some sustain, but I mean, Southwind's only got so much mana.
Only got so much mana, and Jackulov gets up to the full lethal tempo in a level 1 trade. That is disastrous for this 2v2. This is not how this is meant to be going. You're meant to be taking a bit of a step back, because each hook that lands now, you're assuming leads to a death. The pots have been blown through, you got cookies on both sides, you got a little bit of regen ticking, but it does mean the top esports controlling that bot side. Tien kind of going towards that side too, and Leyan being called down there on command as well. You can't necessarily go towards this Renekton combo, go towards the Silas, because everyone now has eyes on bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be tough. Leyen, theoretically, could have a good opportunity to gank this bottom side, right? He is on the bottom side. Jackulov and Mark are fairly extended, but the problem is, can his bottom lane actually join in on that play, or will he just get CC'd and take it out himself as Mark finds the engage? They're sacrificing a cannon to try and make this play. No, Jackulov gets the cannon. Turns it around. Mark just takes a jump, basically, is all that happens.
Leyan on Gromp, maybe looking to find an angle in here, but there's not a great amount of CC. Clears out the vision, holds into account, but Nidalee is squishy. Nidalee is not necessarily someone that wants to jump into a hook themselves. And Tien is just around the corner. It's a 3v3 on the bot side, and every eye has to be here. It's such a walking bot lane confrontation. It's not like Lian has found too much for this.
JackeyLove not even giving Lian the time of day there. Like, just casually dodging the spears, not even a whisper of moving away towards his tower. He's like, bring it on, Lian. There's no way you're making a play on this bottom side. Asum already 10 CS down at this point. We're only 4 minutes in.
Yep. And this is the real danger of giving a Draven access to the minion wave and the hook through the minions.
Southwind's in trouble and Tien is behind enemy lines right here, but JackeyLove getting chunked out by Asum this time around. Mana low on both players from the RA bottom lane as another wave will be crashed here in just a second.
That's heal blown from the Rare Atom bot lane. Again, they've been asking for stability. They've been looking for stability from their previous draft. They've just about held on to their lives. They've not held on to wave push. They haven't held on to a CS lead. They're starting to bleed out through that 2v2. And this is now dangerous. What I want to look for in the next few minutes is what Mark can do in terms of his decision making. Maybe we're going to get to the point where actually the Nautilus could roam elsewhere on the map. Combo up with that Maokai that you called up earlier. We've got a Herald to think about later into the game as well. If Mark and JackeyLove have control over that bot lane, that potentially swings how you approach that. This early laning phase has implications we have to track in the next 4 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, whether or not trying to play up for Cube will essentially sacrifice Asum and Southwind, because I'm not sure they will survive if JackeyLove tries to go for a dive. He's already got a serrated Dirk. Like, this is a monstrous Draven, and the lane has only just begun. I'm real scared if I'm an RA fan at home right now. But the mid laners yet to get involved. Recall coming out from Rookie has that teleport available as Strive has just re-entered that mid lane as well. Level 6s have been hit, so perhaps an opportunity for some roams.
That's that option. Lian once again on call towards his bot side. Asum driving beyond the wave, finally managed to take away some HP. Force JackeyLove away from the minions. If you can get Draven to drop axes, not continually keep life stealing off the wave. Of course, hasn't built the early Vamp Scepter, but he'll have a little bit in runes as that ticks up over time. Just keeping Draven off the wave is very, very important. That's exactly why both junglers are here again. Mark had the option to go elsewhere, but decides actually, you know, the most important thing we can do is keep this chokehold in bot lane up until a bigger opportunity on the map presents itself.
Yeah, I mean, Drake has just spawned as well, so if you do find a pick on the bottom side, that could lead to the first neutral objective. But Asum actually doing a really good job of weaving some damage in. Now that the Lucian army have their abilities, it becomes a much stronger duo to be able to contest.
It really does just feel that after that level 1, all of these resources have to continue going down here. What this has meant, though, is that Asum and Southwind, they haven't died. They managed to even out some of the CS. They're going to be behind, but they're not dead. They're not giving early stacks over to the Raven as much as it gets more valuable as the game goes on. It's not like this has blown out into anything. But drawing this back, all it takes is that one moment, and then things start falling apart. Ferrarum in the past, in the previous series, have done very well at recovering from some mistakes, from holding on to the point where they can find great initiations, great engages. But against top esports, you have to feel it's another step up in waiting for that hammer blow to fall, and how you respond to that, how you can soften the blow and survive to a point where you can fight back.
And so far, I think RA have done a very good job of reacting, right? Where the CS lead in that bottom side has pretty much evened up. Lian managing to get the first Drake of the game, basically saying, look, I'm going to babysit this bottom lane until Lucian Nami starts to exist as a duo, basically, so that JackeyLove and Mark can't just take over. The top side, Cube is just winning in CS in the 1v1. Like, across the board, actually, everything's going pretty well, despite appearances in the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, I think the eye candy very much went towards JackeyLove and Mark in that bot side, camera hanging over there an awful lot, but as we said, it hasn't led to that game-breaking advantage. So top esports, actually a little more to be done for them in terms of their composition. We are expecting them to maybe have a Herald angle, play around their first ultimates, play around that first Maokai ultimate of games, see if they can get Rookie into the thick of things, but for Adam as it stands, they're fairly happy with how they played around things.
I just noticed a really cute combo, Lian, when he throws a spear at the Krugs. The little frog jumps first, and then he jumps over. Yeah. It's very adorable. Lian getting invaded on by Rookie and Tien. Not as adorable for him, but looks like Tien just going to start this Herald off, clearing the vision first. Rookie happily able to dodge that spear. Does have his shroud and everything, so shouldn't be under too much threat. But it will be a contest here from RA. They're not willing to keep the Herald up for free. Jing Tien could be in trouble here. It's going to be the ultimate used by Cube fairly early. Jackie Love looking for an all-in on Southman, but they're focusing the spot. Jackie Love forced to flash away, and Assam full HP. Mark trying to 2v1 them to save his AD carry. Assam with the flash W finds the first blood. Mark and Jackie Love sent packing, and in the meantime, over the top side, it's Top Espors finding the advantage as they find a double kill for Rookie.
It's a 2-for-2 across the map, but the Herald fight goes over the top Esports. It's a feel-good moment. It is an important moment in the 2v2. You remove some stacks, you get that Draven down, you get a kill onto your Lucian. Assam and Southwind surviving the early pressure. We praise them for that. But as the game goes forward, you now need to be aware that the Herald could be just flying into your lane to undo the work which you've done around that bot side. Top Esports, as much as Jackie Love falls behind, they still have the ability to make the next power play on the map.
Certainly possible for them. Both junglers. Okay, Herald's not up. Back to the bottom lane we go. Everybody piling on in. Here's Tidal Wave. Jackie Love bubbled up.
Oh,
spear taken down. RA with a masterclass. We're in the 2% zone, baby.
In the 2%, and that lack of CC in the bot lane, you expect it to be point and click from your Renekton. Diving forwards from the silence. Actually, it's the Tidal Wave which is the difference maker in that last 2v2. You have to look what happens before this point. For me, the big difference is one of the great sins of 2v2s in bot lane. Focusing the support over focusing the AD carry. You get damage onto the Nami, all well and good, but it's not onto the Lucian who gets to dive forward. And then on the top side, TN does an awesome job of using the most of their ultimate, getting out of that CC chain and getting huge value from that Maokai. We called it out before that even started. Watch out for that Maokai ult. That is the real difference maker for Top Esports on the top side of the map where they do find their advantage.
Yeah, and then RA making a pretty significant mistake of believing that 2 champions is better than 1 when the 1 is K'Sante. As they just get absolutely demolished in the pit there by Qingtian. Great little skirmish from him, but overall it's RA finding the advantage. 1,000 up right now, and the thing that we've complimented RA for in the previous games is their macro. Their mid game has been pretty clean. They've been able to hold on to leads and slowly but surely eke out a win. They found that lead, and now it's a question of, you know, holding on to that and building it more.
So things to watch out for. Of course, Herald, it's actually in the inventory of Qingtian, so it's not going to be Tian able to roam down towards that bot side, look for a big play with the next Maokai ult and snowball this Draven. It hit that K'Sante putting that one down. That changes things a little bit. However, Top Esports, on other good news, they do have the Akali with 2 kills. The Apprentice of Dream sent 0 and 9, not going to be replicated for the Master of Rookie. Turn on that Akali, so dangerous. But what can the RA do to fight against that? You're looking at a first item spike from some on that Lucian. Wait for the Imperial Mandate to come through as well. And maybe that Lucian Nami, who's done well to survive, to thrive, in fact, can start turning the tables in rare atoms favor at that point. So Herald, top side of the map, solo laners from Top Esports, bot lane item spikes for rare atom are the next things to track.
And Lien back in the bottom lane once more. Not too surprising. The thing that's impressive to me is the fact that they actually have very good CS in the jungle. Lien still on 90 CS at 12 minutes. It's not too shabby for a jungler. And yet he spent the entire game shadowing the bottom lane. I don't know how he's pulled it off, but he has. A TP into the bottom side from Strive. RA want to fight this dragon.
They do. Strive, Akali ult, Maokai ult thrown out. What can Mark find?
Mark with a big knock-up, but the blast gun denies it. 4-man grasping roots. Can they find more? Rookie into the backline. Assam down, and the perfect execution back out of the play.
And it is exactly what we thought might go wrong. It is the instructions unclear. Group for the Nautilus ult gets splattered apart for it into the Maokai. 4-man route from the Maokai. Huge knockup from the Nautilus. Sets up Rookie to get a 3rd kill. The master of the mid lane has come out to a really huge advantage in that play, and as much as the item spike had been hit by that Lucian, they couldn't play around it in that fight. Top Esports pulled trigger too cleanly and too well.
Yeah, this combo of the Nautilus and Maokai, I'm liking it. This is a strong tool set that Top Esports brings to the table. And if you wanted carries to be able to follow up on it, I mean, an Akali and a Draven, it's not too shabby, is it? Never mind a K'Sante up in the top side. So RA, they're going to have to figure out how to execute into this combination and how to play around that.
think it really does have to come from them trying to find an angle first when TN is not in position to counter in, say, something like a mid lane priority tug of war between the Lucian Nami, because again, that one-item spike from Lucian Nami cannot understate how powerful that is. You just got to make sure you can pull it up without a huge counter coming in from that Marquez ultimate in particular. That's what I'm looking for, but we're reaching another point where Barara and they've got a lot to be afraid of. And this is exactly what they need to be afraid of. TN just messing them up.
Oh no, it's over for Asum, and this might be the cash-in for Jackie Love. No, Mark! What are you doing? Mark takes the kill. Jackie Love still no cash-in. 100 adoration stacks just sitting there.
Oh, it got really, really close, so I think that's why he got a little bit spooked. Saw that the health bar falling low. Maybe there's an extra double tap auto to come out just at the end of it, but still, extra 100 gold. Not going to be in the pockets of Jackie Love. The snowball not quite there. At least Lucian taken off the board. It's still a positive. But it's not what we've come to expect from Top in the past, of having explosive plays which just open up the map, open up the game. They haven't achieved that cleanly yet.
No, not so far. Very even. I mean, the gold, almost exactly the same. One dragon apiece. This is starting up to be a very exciting mid-game, right? And Top Esports, a team that generally do rely on having advantages from the laning phase to snowball. The one thing I will say is there is a big disparity between our two mid laners right now. Rookie has 3 kills for himself, 150 CS. That's a 20 CS advantage. Like, he is absolutely huge. And Xingtian finishing a tower as well will just about push him ahead in gold. And in the meantime, Lien's been caught out in the jungle. Rookie surely finds the kill. Okay, yeah, does turn it around in the end. The wave comes out, but Asum's in trouble himself. Jackie Love looks for the kill, but it's Mark to take it again as Rookie gets a second. And out of nowhere, RA are taken apart.
They're absolutely demolished around the mid lane. I think they were looking for that one-item spike play around the Lucian Nami. We called that out as their strong point. But the prerequisite to that is that you can't get caught out while they're looking for it. You can't get caught out by something like a Maokai, which of course comes into that mid lane. And of course, it's also a Mark here as well. Again, they're setting up in the mid lane, but they just don't have the ability to finish off the play. Asum diving in, but Top Esports, credit to them, ready and completely able to respond to the play.
I mean, Asum's going down there is pretty much all damage from TN. Like, that's a pretty scary amount of damage that the trees bring to the table. Practically takes out Asum by himself. And, you know, a good attempt onto Jackie Love, but the flash being there, Asum couldn't quite get the kill, and it means that the play just goes completely sideways. Now, 90 seconds until that Drake comes up. Both teams with 1 so far. RA would love to be able to contest for that one, but you know, just off of that last play alone, it's a 3,000 goal lead now for Top Esports. Starting to feel like they are the ones with the bigger advantage. Hex Flash from Mark won't find anything.
Yeah, and how quickly the conversation changes from, oh, it's an even game, to, that's a pretty big advantage we're starting to see built up there. Top Esports pulling the trigger. Strive now trying to find something for themselves.
Okay, Tien just gone. I mean, the play is over before it even begins. Tien, obviously no idea that Strive was there. Did not realize that the threat was there. Trying to protect his chickens from Lien, I believe, but should have been worried about his own health bar.
Yeah, I think that that's a really good window of time to find a pick onto the enemy jungler. Of course, it's during the objective setup. Maokai can't throw saplings down now at this point. This maybe puts Rarasim into a position where maybe they can look to contest. I'm still not sure they will. Still going to be the Maokai able to throw his ultimate out on time for that objective, even if the sapling setup won't be there. But Rarasim actually know they're heading into that bot side river, feeling bold. It's enough to go towards that point, maybe set up something.
Yeah. Shove out from Rookie in the bottom side, but Strive is there just to clear the wave, so shouldn't be too significant. And the Unleash teleport available now for both Cube and Strive, so they can go for those resets if they need to teleport into the play. Just gonna hold it for the time being though. Strive walking all the way over as Cube still in this top side, and if he has an opportunity to stay on the tower, might be able to do so, but looks like actually RA not going to contest whatsoever. Leanne up on this top side as well.
Yeah. As far as I was aware, in terms of like, you know, like the Maokai not being there for the setup, okay, big factors in there. They managed to get mid priority. I think the big difference maker was Southwind had Imperial Mandate item spike, and as soon as you get that on Nami, you need it. It is such a huge part of the Lucian Army culling Gale Force burst combo because that adds so much damage from the item onto it. I think that was the final decision maker for Rare Atom. Choose not to take that dragon, now going towards an even bigger point of power. Cube takes that tower, they bide their time, show a little bit of restraint. They're going to have another crack at the next play to come in.
Yeah, the only issue is the tower ultimately gets traded on the other side of the map. So Top Esports, they get the Drake and kind of evenly trade in terms of those towers. So it's not the greatest situation for RA. Rookie, terrifying right now, but Lien and Strive want to make a play onto this mid laner. He's 5-0, out of energy, like you say, but has the Shroud to work with. Perfect execution in place. Strive and low, and there's a TP coming on through. He hides behind the cannon. Perfect execution to escape as Qingtian now arrives on the play. Lien on the wrong side of this one. The blast cone, can it save him? Now Qingtian's the one alone because Cube has joined the action as well. But that is Cassante in the back of the alcove, and he's happily just sitting there among everyone. The tidal wave comes on through. Lien gets the kill on Qingtian. Rookie with a second shroud of the fight, buying so much time. Here comes Mark and Jagulov. The cavalry arrives as the roots across the whole team. There's one for Rookie as Jagulov starts to chase Tien on the front line, looking for Assam here if he can close the gap. The flash in, the knockback, and Jagulov can't find the X's, but there's one. Assam gets Tien to trade it though.
Still no shutdown. There's no cash in for Jagulov. He's tried so hard to get involved in these plays, but even though he doesn't get the big money-making kills, Rookie does. He outlasts the attempt onto him in that side lane, even though it was watching the resource tick down. Strive looking at those Qs being put across the wave, seeing if maybe he could resource manage Rookie into a death of himself, but they don't shut him down. Qingtian lasts such a long time, not popping that ultimate, staying tanky for as long as possible, buys enough time for Top Esports to call in reinforcements. And Rare Atom, just before this, they've shown restraint, they've shown that ability to understand when there was a losing play for them. They don't see it in this situation at Top Esports, they punish them for it.
Yeah, I mean, Rookie, once again, just the absolute hero of the moment, gets 2 kills for himself. Just, like you say, outlasting the play. Qingtian TPing in, tanking for a long time, but it's Rookie that grabs the kills in the end. It's Rookie that starts the whole play off in the 2v1 and somehow manages to stay on top. 7-0 on the Akali. Yeah. Pretty much perfect CS as well, like almost 200 at 20 minutes. The man is just a menace in the mid lane, almost on 3 items.
And this is such bad news for Rare Atom because we talked about it coming out of Champion Select. They want early advantages. They don't want to be in a position where they have to be pinned back in their own jungle, waiting for a Maokai ult to stun up the rest of their team, root them down, because there's no one that really wants to take that on Rare Atom. Even when you have a Renekton who's a little bit tankier, it's not enough. And Top Esports, they know they're in that advantage. They know they have the ability to have a Rookie run amok in the backline. Rare Atom are forced to, they're forced to answer them at the Baron.
Top Esports saw the clock, they know it's past 20 minutes, so Baron is started immediately. Nature's Grass comes out, rooting a couple of players, and Baron's gone. It's over. Top Esports just waltz on in and take it. We've seen it 1,000 times before, and RA just not ready for it.
And what the hell do you do now as Rare Atom? That is such a killer blow to this squad. One that has managed to hold on in their series before, hold on in the long games, but Top Esports, they're not letting the game go long. They're accelerating. They found, you know, it was fairly hard to find them at first, but they managed to find those plays to break open this game through Rookie, through Tien, finding these great ultimates across the team. And Rare Atom, much like our first series of the day, are in a position where they're going to have to get desperate. They're going to have to look for some mismatched number play between a Nidalee Renekton, between Sylas stealing an ultimate, but it is a uphill battle at best for Rare Atom.
I really want to see how many stacks Jagulov is on at this point as well, because it's been a while since he died, and he's not been grabbing any kills, so he's going to have been stacking up for a long time. And not just in terms of the gold, but remember, his ultimate has an execute. That pop-up might say that he has 300 stacks, but I can't read Mandarin. Here we go. Knockups cross team. Rookie's on the backline, and Asam's already low on HP. Rookie turns golden to buy himself some time. Perfect execution. First Rookie's taken down. Lien and Cube shred him to pieces. And now Strive on the top side of the play, and it's 4v4. This could be a chance for RA. They've taken down the strongest member of Top Esports. Drake is spawning, but Top Esports don't want to back away just yet.
Want to drop back away. They don't have themselves the Maokai ultimate, and they don't have themselves 7 of their 10 kills on the board. Rare Atom, I think this is your time. I think now's the time to fight.
Jackalov on the Drake, but now moving over. This will be Drake taken by Top Esports. And that will be soul point for them. Qingtian dodges the spear, looking for a little bit more, but won't make his way in just for the time being. Remember, Jackalov, 300 stacks, has that execute. So RA have to play so carefully. If you get chunked, you might just get sniped.
Absolutely worth paying attention to that, but Asim didn't commit to that play. It felt like it was more of a screening motion for Rare Asim around that dragon, but I don't know when it gets better than this. You've already taken down the Akali as they've dove too deep. I mean, you see Cube, we kind of called this out as well before. If he gets an individual advantage, he will be a threat. He does start getting into a position where he can get that empowered W onto Rookie. Look at the damage that comes through between him and Lian. It is the Renekton Nidalee finally getting something for this, and the return ultimate of Strive managing to disengage the play after that point too, but I feel like they had to look for more after this point. They're still in a very dangerous position against this Baron. They're still at a point where they're staring down Infernal Soul points. I just wonder if the window's starting to pass for them.
That's the question. And I've been so impressed by what RA are bringing here. Like, they really are going toe-to-toe with Top Esports. The gold's so even, but those dragons, like you say, it's looming, right? If Top Esports get one more Drake with Akali and Draven on the team, like, you gotta believe Infernal Soul would be a win condition in of itself right there. And Top Esports pressuring in the bottom side, looking for a tier 2 to try and bring that gold lead even bigger for themselves. Qingtian needs to be a little cautious. I think maybe trying to bait someone, see if someone would step just past him so he can push him through that wall, but doesn't find his opportunity. And the tower will survive.
Yeah, but this is kind of the nature of Rare Atom that we've come to know. Probably one of our best well-known teams in terms of our team identity from the split, from what they've shown us so far. They're tenacious. They do hold on. They find ways into games which they probably should have been shut out from before. They learned that from their first loss, and they're getting to a point where at least they can look for these angles. The gold is even. It doesn't sadly change the way that these teams interact. You still got to be so scared of that Miracle. You still got to be so scared of the shutdown, the execute potential from Jackalov, and then of course Rookie running rampant in that backline. But at least they're still looking. One thing I do want to call out quickly as well, just before we head back to more gameplay stuff. Tian has gone for the Night Harvester on the Maokai for a little bit more burst to potentially shut out someone like Asim or Strive from these fights. Have to track how he can be a bit of an unexpected burst threat as well in some of these.
Yeah. I mean, he nearly one-shot Asim earlier on and did not have a Night Harvester at that point. Saw the point of RA as well, talking about identity. A lot of people aren't sure whether they should get hyped about this roster. If they can win a game like this, it's time to start believing in RA, I think it's fair to say. Rookie up on the top side, pushing these waves out. And I do feel like Top Esports stalling out a little bit here, but not super surprising because the way that they're going to win this game is that Dragon, is that Baron, both coming up within the next 2 minutes. So even though we've had a little bit of a lull, you can anticipate the pace is going to pick up. So, Nightmare, what is it that RA have to do here over the next 2 minutes to miraculously fight for these objectives?
You have to somehow buy space for someone like Cube to get on top of the Akali, burst them out. They're one of the few champions that really can do that. Also buy space for Asim. Just hit 3 items on that Lucian, actually ahead in itemization compared to his often opposing number. It's also a more consistent damage build from that Lucian. It's Navori Quick Blades. That means more dashes, more ability damage from that Navori Quick Blades passive. That means that actually, if Top Esports don't cleanly land the play, which in fairness they have done most of the time in this game, but if they let that slip once, maybe Asim can find that slim angle of attack to burn through some of Top Esports. That's what I'm looking for.
Just maybe. 1,000 gold is the difference as Jackalov just head back to base, so I imagine he has hit that 3-item mark as well. He was headed towards a rapid-fire cannon, I believe. And we'll see if he's finished that one off. But Baron about to spawn, Dragon up in 50 seconds. I've got a feeling the Baron might be ignored for the time being. I think that Infernal Soul is going to be much more tempting for the side of Top Esports. But Rookie just finished the 3rd item as well. Oh, it feels like this fight is going to be monumental.
Yeah, you can see like the planets coming into alignment. We're in the 2% zone once again. A Rare Atom going to have to puzzle their way out of this mid game. They're even enough in gold. They're even enough in itemization. Difficulties in the team composition, but Strive has the Maokai ult to fire back against Tien should he choose to pull that trigger. In a better world, in a better scenario for Top Esports, they would have not had those resets. They would have been able to have their itemization and also control the map. But since they did reset for those items, for that Void Staff, for that rapid fire cannon as well, they could have maybe headed towards that Baron, which wasn't on the same timer as that Dragon, but they couldn't quite find that timing. Now they have to sit down in this LPL ARAM fight over this mid lane wave, and Asim's gone too far!
Oh, he's gone way too deep on this one, TN. So far into the back line, but taken down. He pressed his W and was taken on a roller coaster. But now Cube pulled back into the play, and somehow 4v5 Top Esports still win out the fight. Leon pulled back on in and taken to pieces. Top Esports, no matter what, somehow win these fights.
Asim goes far too deep because even though he lives, he cannot fight after that point. Rookie hadn't entered the fray. He had his ultimate. He was threatening an execution. With the Lucian out of the equation, Top Esports, they're going to earn themselves the fight and earn themselves the Infernal Soul. It's not been as clean a snowball as maybe we could have expected from them. They've not had the cleanest game so far in this year so far, but they are going to get themselves into a commanding position now in this first game of their series versus Rare Atom. Gonna look back at this replay and see how this comes across. Bold, shall we say. Bold. And while a good amount of damage comes out, Asim manages to get away from the depth charge. It doesn't go onto the Lucian. How the hell does Lucian walk up at this point? Rookie tags onto Cube, uses them as a leapfrog to get their ultimate further on, and Asim cannot be anywhere near that Akali as soon as that R is running, before that perfect execution is on the table. And that was so close to being a one kill and out for Rare Atom, but it wasn't nearly close enough to get them the fight victory.
Yeah. And you know, there's a lot of teams in the world that see their jungler accidentally go too deep like that, be pulled into the enemy team and go, okay, we got picked, we concede the Drake. Top Esports are like, oh, they've engaged for us, let's go. Charge on forwards. Here we go, onto the mid lane tower. Xingtian is getting terrifyingly tanky at this point. The Rookie over towards the bottom side. Baron on the cards here, as Top Esports, if they can get priority around and get control, certainly could look towards that objective for the second time this game.
Trying to get that control away from Top Esports will be very difficult when you have such a large amount of gold onto this Akali who can run the side lanes. When you have the Maokai that can litter the map with these saplings around here, with Night Harvest on top of it, with that Abyssal going. We've got the teleports coming in. Prepare for the big fight.
K'Sante happily just holding on and blocking the ultimate cube on the front line, but is he tanking it up? Strive there getting low as well.
Oh!
Jacking it up with two, and it's Rookie with two as well. Strive alone in the world. Gets a Blasco. No, he doesn't. K'Sante trying to follow him in, and Strive's knocked back into the loving arms of Jackie Love. Rookie takes a little sip of his coffee, a well-earned sip, as Top Esports will take the game.
Like the Reaper in his fields, Top Esports scythe through Rare Atom, handing them their first loss in 4 games. They fought valiantly, they fought well to find something in the mid game, but it wasn't nearly enough against Rookie on his Akali. 10, 1, and 4, perfectly executing this first game.
Yeah, shout out to Mark as well. 2-1 and 12 at the end of that one, being a key tool alongside TM. We talked about the Nautilus Maokai. What a combo. I anticipate we'll see a lot more of that over the weeks in the LPL, but wow. Top Esports, an explosive mid-game, decisive fights, managing to find the advantage in the end. Fair play to RA. They held on for a very long time, but